All right, so for problem number 5, it's more of the same. Raise your hand. I'm going to ask some questions. You guys are going to help me do this. Raise your hand if you think you know which equation we need to solve for a variable. Yes. Which equation, the first one or the second one? The second one. All right. Someone else raise your hand if you know which variable we should solve for. Yes. You. X. Why do you think that they said X? Well, because X is already by itself. So let's do that. So I've got, and remember when I call on you guys, I don't want anybody to say any names. So raise your hand and I will point to you. But if I take the second equation, right, it's pretty easy. Raise your hand if you know what I got to do to get X by itself. Yes. Yes. Well, that doesn't get X by itself. If I want to get X by itself, I need to move the 6Y. Someone else got a suggestion? Yes. Yeah, we're going to subtract 6Y. Whatever we do on one side, we do to the other. Well, bam, with the bacon sizzle. These cancel. I get X equals negative 6X, positive 18. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. All right, so now that I know that, wait a second, that's a Y, not an X. I don't know how I'm supposed to get these problems correct if you guys aren't going to bother to pay attention. Fourth mistake of the day. That's funny. That was my third mistake of the day. What year did I say I made my last mistake? 1980. It's fourth one in 20 years. 40 years, actually. All right. So, anyways, I made 4 mistakes in 40 years, one per decade. Oh, okay. Well, nobody asked her. Well, I have a high school diploma, so. Wait, I have an 8th grade diploma, so. All right. Technically, that's not true. So let's go. Let's keep going before you guys get distracted. Now, what do I do? Raise your hand if you know. Well, I've solved for X for a reason, and that reason is I'm going to take this first equation. Now, watch what I do. I'm going to change the color so you know I'm working with this equation. I'm going to write down 2 times X plus, what was the rest of it, 3Y is equal to, oh, it's negative 3Y. Wow. Another mistake? Is this what we're doing today? Okay. All right, I see what we're doing today. It's always something with you kids. All right, so 2X. But what is X equal to, you guys? X is equal to this stuff, isn't it? So I'm going to plug in here 6Y plus 18. I'm wondering why I didn't write that bigger. What's 2 times 6Y? 12Y, or as she said, 12Y. And then what is 2 times positive 18? Make fun of me. 2 times positive 18 is 36. And then we have minus 3Y over here equals negative 24. We're going to combine like terms. What are the like terms on the left-hand side of the equal sign? Yes. Yeah, just the y's, right? So 12y minus 3y. So really you just take the numbers, like 12 minus 3. What's 12 minus 3, guys? 9. And then tack on the y. That was easy enough. Plus 36 is equal to negative 24. Is y by itself yet? No. So what do I move, the 9 or the 36? The 30. How do I do that? Yeah, minus 36 on both sides. Very good. These cancel, and I'm left with 9y is equal to, what's 36 subtract? Is that 60? Negative 60? I don't know. Let's get our handy dandy calculator out. Man, that's a lot of math numbers. Oh, negative 24 minus 36. It just seems like a lot. I'm going to get rid of my equal sign. It's not the greatest. Equals, negative 60. All right, let's see what's going on here. Negative 24 minus 36. Negative 60. All right. So this is going to have a fraction, which I'm not real happy about. I got to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide by 9. Divide by 9. I get y is equal to negative 60 over 9. You know what I could do to reduce that? So I want this to be reduced. I feel like I made a mistake somewhere. Let me double check and make sure I wrote everything down correctly. Minus 6y. 2 minus 3y minus 24. I think I did, but this is, I don't like this 9 going into the thing. So let's reduce this. I don't know if that's right or not. So we'll say is equal to, let's just plug it in the calculator. The calculator will reduce it for us. How do I get fractions again on the calculator? Hit the math thing, then go over here, right? And I'm going to say 60 divided by 9. It's 20 over 3. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't forget the negative. All right, so we'll say 20 over 3. I don't know if I like that. How can I double check that before I go any further? I could use my teacher book, but you know what I'm going to do? Mr. Adams is going to graph this in Desmos and see if that seems about right. So I'm going to say Desmos graphing calculator, and I'm going to say 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 24. So that's the first equation. And then I'm going to say x plus 6y equals 18. What do you notice? Yeah, according to this, it intersects at negative 6 comma 4, right? So that means what? Mr. Adams made a mistake somewhere. I mean, you guys made a mistake somewhere. I said you were helping me. Where's the mistake? Let's see. What did I do wrong? I subtracted 6 from... You know what I did? This is supposed to be negative 6, you guys. See? So that makes this a negative 12y. No worries. So, all right. So we're going to go back. Erase all this stuff. Did you guys write all that down in pen? I have an eraser. You want an eraser? You got to go and grab them. They're in the cabinet up there. All right. So here's the mistake, mister. It's always a negative sign. Dang it. So this right here had a negative 6. This had a negative 6, but Mr. Adams forgot to write down the negative. Luckily for me, I had one exemplary student who noticed my mistake, which makes sense because I taught her math. You're welcome. So anyways, 2 times negative 6y is actually negative 12y. So when we go to combine these like terms, I actually get negative 15y is equal to negative 60, right? Because we're going to subtract 36 from both sides too, and combine like terms. So now, when I divide, oh my goodness, I wrote down 14. So when I divide by negative 15 on both sides, guess what y equals? 4. So that's part of it, right? So if I think in terms of x comma y, x comma y, I've got the y, which is 4. Now, how do I get the x? I just go back here and plug this in. So we said that x is equal to negative 6y plus 18, or negative 6 times x, which is 4, plus 18, which is equal to negative 24 plus 18, which is equal to negative 6. So, this is negative 6. And by the way, what does Desmos say that it is? Negative 6 comma 4. Now, I would have figured that out eventually. I would have. I knew almost immediately I screwed up. I just had to think about where I screwed up. So let's just paste that in there. I'll paste that up towards the top so you guys could see it. That's where they cross. Okay. All right. Let me give you guys a little bit of a mental break. I'm going to leave that up there so you guys can make sure that you have